forgot the plastic bag. So as a kid, like, kindergarten. Yeah, like kindergarten. I started drawing. I was a big drawer. This is when you hear the Virginia. So decent, because I'm not going to say I was amazing. In fact, that they wanted to send me to like this school to like do art.
Yeah.
When I was like 5.
Mm-hmm. Like your parents or?
Yeah, but like I was offered an invitation.
Oh, really?
But I never actually went.
Why not?
I don't remember. It was a money thing. Probably. It wasn't like scholarship. It was like, you're invited to do this, but do you have the money? Yeah. So early on, I was super into drawing. Very big into it. I loved doing it. And I generally would draw from like photographs or like looking at something. They were pretty good. So I was really big into that for a little while. I took a few, I think I shot one disposable when I lived in Virginia, which was weird. Like right before I moved here, like probably a year before, I shot one disposable. So that's like my first film photos.
Yeah.
And then I shot like 2 Polaroids, like 2 packs. So like 16 photos. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's more, but like, that's what I did.
You've always had that creative drive.
Yeah, I just didn't know how to channel it in a way that was more meaningful to me. When I discovered shooting on the street, that's when I discovered something that was meaningful to me and something I wanted to always do. What was the path that led me to New York?
Yeah.
I'm going to give a very brief summary without being super descriptive because it's kind of sad. But my mom and I had a lot of issues growing up, and an unfortunate incident occurred where I ended up living in a car for 6 months, and then I met a girl who went to SVA in New York, and at the end of the summer she was returning, and she said, "Trevor, why don't you come up for a week and try to like figure some things out?"
Yeah.
And I came up for that week, and then 2 weeks happened, and then 3 weeks happened, and then the roommate was like, "Are you gonna start paying rent?" And I was like, "I guess." So then I found a job, and then I never left. I moved to New York with $20. That's all I had, and like a bag, a bag of clothes. That's it.
Damn.
That's how I got here. But shout out Ashton. Without Ashton, I would have not done any of this. Nothing. I don't know where I would be right now. I'd probably be in Virginia, which would suck. So yes, I worked at Joe for 4 years. I worked from 2017, like probably 2 weeks after I moved here, to 2021, November.
And one of your coworkers showed you Daniel Arnold.
My friend showed me Daniel's work in October of 2017. Yeah, I didn't really try to go out shooting until November. And then I met Daniel, and I remember the date only because it's like on the photo of us. And it was November 18th. So I met him like right as soon as I started.
Yeah.
Because I was shooting with my friend Victor Lorente. Because I had DM'd him, and I said, you're really good. You do well on the street. Would it be okay if you just showed me some stuff? I'm just curious. And he was like, yeah. And we're walking down Fifth Avenue, or up Fifth Avenue actually. And I look over and I said, because I'd already seen the Daniel videos on YouTube because I did my research. And I look over and I say, Victor, that's Daniel. It's Daniel. And he goes up to Daniel. He's like, Daniel, what's up? Because they're friends. And then he's like, this is Trevor. And he's like, oh, nice to meet you. And we just exchanged a few words. It was only like a 2-minute thing. And then I think he followed me then, or he followed me like a week later, because I saw him literally 1 week later with my girlfriend at the time, and he gave me a big hug. He just walked up and gave me a hug. Yeah. Like I didn't even know him. And then I kept putting out photos, and then he started to take notice, and then I don't know, we would go to the same events, and like we would talk, and like I DM him and we would chat, and like eventually he asked me if I could watch his cat, so I stayed at his house plenty of times, and like I don't know. He's always been like a big bro after we got to know each other.
So like, how did
Okay.
you get into getting assignments from the New York Times and?
Well, I will say that without Daniel, again, he put in a good word. So they took notice. And they started to follow me on Instagram, started seeing the work. And I post a lot because I don't care. I don't care. And then eventually I said, fuck it. I said, I'm just going to DM them. So I DM'd one of the editors. I'm not going to say their name, but I DM'd them. And I was like, hey, I'm Trevor. I would love to work with you sometime. And she was like, Trevor, nice to meet you. Just send me an email. We'll work together. And I sent her an email, and I think a week later, we had a Zoom chat with another editor. So I was talking to two. And they were like, so we have this project for you. It's a Halloween mask. It's going to be like 4 different photographers, but we like your style, and we want you to just shoot it how you want to do it. Shoot it on film. We don't care. And I shot that one, and I did pretty damn well for my first one. That was also interesting to me because it was, I was staging them. I was trying to take street photos, but I was staging the photos because obviously, I told him to walk around with the mask, but you know, still, like, it's just weird. So I was like, oh, Chris, like, put the mask on here, I'll take the photo. Put it on here, I'll take the like, it was kind of chill. It's Michael Myers in a trench coat with the meat behind him, and he has a Leica, because that was my best friend. Yeah. And then, not even a week later, they asked me to do another one, which was called street art. So what do you think when you think of street art?
Graffiti.
Yes. Yeah. Or whatever. Installations, art. No, it didn't mean that. It meant anything. It meant anything that I thought was art. So basically, for 2 days, I dicked around and took photos of graffiti, not knowing. I emailed them. I was like, I don't know about this. I was like, this isn't really working. And they were like, oh, it's because you're taking photos of graffiti. They were like, no. They were like, take photos like you take photos. Just take street. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
why didn't you tell me? That would have been good. So anyway, so then I shot that one for like a week. Yeah. And I did pretty good on that one. And then I had one other one. So I've only done 3. And I haven't done it in a long time. I fucked the last one up, so I'm not going to talk about it. They still used it, but I did not do a good job. I fucked up, but it's okay. Mm-hmm. And they did ask me again, but like a while later, and I missed the email, so they gave it to someone else.
Oh, damn.
Walkie Talkie time! Did you see that at the beginning?
Yeah. The clap and everything.
See, that's when it's the persona.
Uh-huh.
That's not how I am. See, this is gonna be weird because this is gonna be a very strange contrast to like the Walkie Talkie, because I'm not acting. I'm just hanging out with you. But nice to see you. I'll see you soon. Have a good day. ¿Quieres comer? I mean, I have very, very rarely staged a photo. And it's not even staging. It's like, how do I describe it? There's been very few. I've never. This is a strange subject. Staging a photo, basically, I have seen something really good before, and I approached the subject and I said, "May I take a photo of what you were doing or how you were?" And then I took the photo, and because they said yes. Is that staging? I guess, but I thought in that scenario it was better to ask. So I still took the same photo basically that would have been if I just took it. So I don't really see that as staging. I just had a conversation.
Yeah.
There's been a very, very few instances where I've had an object and I was like, you know what, this object would look good with whatever other object is right here. Like it's a weird juxtaposition or whatever. I'll use the bullshit terms that everyone uses, candid. You know, I see someone doing something naturally or candidly and I take the photo. That's how I perceive things, because I'll steal Daniel's quote. He's like, if you don't take it then, if you ask permission, they change. So they're not going to be natural like they were 5 seconds ago. They're going to tense up because, you know, they're having their photo taken. They don't know that they're having their photo taken. You're going to capture it naturally. There's a lot of ethics behind it. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because I'm not trying to hurt anyone. Daniel's not trying to hurt anyone. We're not trying to hurt you. You know what I mean? Also, the other thing about ethics in street photography, which kind of sucks, is like sometimes people think that we're taking advantage of these people and like trying to profit off of their image, which I understand, but that's not really what it's about. I think what we're trying to do is capture a moment in time.
I don't think there's an issue shooting homeless people in general, but I think the issue lies in like, oh, I'm gonna sell a print out of this, because then, I mean, you gotta make money, but also it's like, that seems kind of exploitive.
Yeah, I have no problem shooting someone in need. That's how I'm gonna put it. I have no problem doing it. I tend to try to not make the photograph about that. But sometimes there is something so, I'm gonna use a vulgar term, fucked. As in, they are really not good, but somehow it's still worth taking the photo. And somehow, in some way, maybe I'm sick, but it's kind of beautiful in a sad, tragic way. So I have no problem taking a photo of someone like that if I feel like it's beneficial for the world to have the moment. I don't show a lot of it, but I have some photos that are really heartbreaking, and that's really what it is. You see these photos and you're like, damn, but you're kind of like, I get why you did it. Like, I'm not judging you for doing that, because it's not like I just went up to him and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. No, I just saw it and I was like, that's very sad, but I think I should capture it. And I think the photos translate that way in those specific instances. Oh my God. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. No, that scared the shit out of me. It was right next to me. I'm gonna go take a photo of it, but damn. I'm gonna take it. Fuck. Is
that a rat?
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. It's not bad.
I guess.
Mind if I like sit here for a second?
Yeah. I mean, whatever's.
The light's probably good, and I just want to sit for a second.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay. Do you remember what we were talking about? Early on, so shout out to New York City Street Photography Collective. It is and was a very integral part of the community, and without them I would not be friends with the people I'm friends with today, and I wouldn't be the person I am today. So yes, very beneficial, very great. When I was interested in being a member, they weren't interested in me being a member, and when they were interested in me being a member, I wasn't interested. So bad timing, maybe, but it's okay. I'm still friends with George. George is the founder. He runs Contact Photo Gallery, Photo Lab, my bad. It's a gallery too. He's a great guy, very good for the community. But no, Sara was part of it. I was not, and I never was. But people always thought I was because I was always around. That's your answer.
There you go.
Sad eyes.
Getting there.
No, I'm not sad.
Yeah.
2 for $5. Let's just go talk to them. Sheenon.
Put it out there?
I don't care. No, people know already.
Is, I guess, photography the thing that really motivates you and like you think about and like you research and
Yes. Photography, yes. Motivates me. I think now, though, there's other things that are motivating me. I shoot a lot with my friends. What motivates me is to spend time with people I care about, and it just so happens that these people also care about or enjoy taking photos just like I do. Same thing with Chris and Daniel and a lot of people I can name. What motivates me is to spend time with people I love. I view these people as like my family. It sucks, but I didn't have a great family growing up, so this is like my chosen family, the ones that I found. And I think what is most meaningful to me is spending time with them. But I'm also taking photos for myself, and I'm also taking photos of them. I'm just documenting everything I see, and all the work is merged together. I think a photo that I take of Daniel, Arnold, or Cameron is just as good as a photo that I take on the street, because it's the same thing. That's why I said photographer of life. They're all the same. The photos of my mom are some of the most meaningful photos to me. But it's not the most meaningful photos to other people. They like my street stuff. It's all the same.
do you have any other creative outlets? Do you read, go to museums, film?
What do I do? Yes, read. I was big into reading in middle school and high school. I don't read a lot anymore. I love paintings. Huge fan of paintings. You'll never guess who my favorite artist is. My favorite painter.
Hopper,
No.
Rothko.
No. I love them both, but no. No, he's not very, he's known, but he's underrated. He's not very known. I'll say he was the apprentice of Gustav Klimt.
No idea.
Egon Schiele. I don't go to movies often. I love doing it, but again, I hate money, and they're expensive. But they're a great time. I just went to the Alamo Drafthouse in Financial District and saw the new Wes Anderson movie.
What do you think?
Amazing. Did you see it?
No, not yet.
Oh. Like one of the main characters is a war photographer, and he takes a photo of someone, and she goes, "Did you just take my picture?" And he goes, "Uh-huh." And she's like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "I'm a photographer." It's catered towards people like that. I was growing up. One of my first passions was I was a retro video game collector of like original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and 64. I love video games. I play Tetris a lot. Tetris to keep my mind working. I love comedy. I love Eric Andre. I love Tim Robinson. Who else? Have you ever heard of The Whitest Kids You Know?
Yeah.
Love The Whitest Kids You Know. I started watching that when I was in 7th grade. Like I love comedy.
Would you say you're politically motivated at all?
I don't keep up with the times a lot. Like I'm aware of things going on. I used to read, I don't know if you know about this, but the New York Times would put out like a morning, like
The Morning Report or something?
Yeah, and I used to read that every day on the train. So I would understand what was going on in the world. I'm not politically motivated. I honestly don't really care. I'm just living my life, and I'm just photographing what I see. The politics are the politics. I know it will have effect on a lot of people, and that might be selfish of me to say that, but I don't really have any control. And I don't think any of us really have a lot of control over what will happen and who's going to be in power and the political climate. So it doesn't really affect me a ton. I've done Model UN. I've done this shit. Like I understand it, but I just don't really focus on it because I'm thinking about like when I see a small moment that lasts half a second or a second, like that's cool to me. I'm not really thinking about the other stuff because I'm so attuned to just what is happening presently in front of my eyes whenever I'm out or even in my house. Like I'll see a small moment with with a loved one, and I'll take a photo. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not really worried about the greater picture, because there's plenty of other people that are. I don't have to be focused on that, in my opinion.
The right way? Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
I want to get out of the crowd.
So last year, my mom went through this. She got this disease. She lost use of her legs.
Is this a mom question? Okay,
If,
fine.
if
No, I'm good.
we don't
with
have
it.
to.
I'm
I
good.
guess what advice would you offer for me to try to, live my life, but also help my mom?
Okay, I'm gonna use an example because it's gonna speak from personal experience. Obviously, you're making this. You care deeply about videography. Is that a correct term?
Yeah.
Okay. Being a filmmaker, I would say focus as much as you can on it. Spend time with her. I'm sure she's fine. I hope she's fine, but you never know. I always said to my mom, she said, I'm dying, it's gonna happen soon. And I was always Mr. Positive, Mr. Optimistic, like, no, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. I know you're tired, I know you're in pain, but we'll get through it. And she lasted a lot longer than she was supposed to. She was diagnosed with stage 4, like a long time ago, and she made it 5 years with stage 4. It might have been stage 3, but the point is, like, she lasted a lot longer, and it's because my mom was a very strong-willed person, and she was very uplifting and positive. We had our problems, but I would say focus on what you're doing creatively, spend time with her at the same time. And honestly, my mom didn't support what I was doing. When I first came here and I told her what I was doing, she thought I was insane. Which it kind of sounds insane if you're a parent. Oh, I'm taking photos of strangers, it's great. And she's like, you're gonna get the shit beat out of you. Oh, I got punched yesterday. First time, by the way, ever. Not ever being punched, but ever on the street. And I didn't even take a photo. But the point is that focus creatively. And 4 years after I started taking photos, I had made a zine. I had raised $16,000 with a print sale for my mom that I gave her for her medical bills. I didn't make a dime. And she was very proud of the person I became. So I would say just do what you're doing now. Spend time with your mom. And I'm sure she's already proud of you, but she'll be even more proud of you for pursuing the dream that you want to achieve. Was that the last one?
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the last question.